Hello everyone and welcome to the awkwardly named Mislead Forest. It's not all that misleading though. The textures are a bit wonky. These logs will fall over if we step in front of them and smash us. But since we walk behind them, we tricked them. We tricked those logs good. There are more twists and turns here than in the previous levels, but to say you'd get lost here is to say you'd get lost at your local mini-mall. It's just, you look once or twice where you're going and you know where it is. That might actually be underselling some mini-malls. But yeah, even as a child, I don't think I would have gotten lost here. Don't worry, we'll see that wolf guy again, probably. And if we won't, that's okay. I accidentally talked over him. There is another new enemy type I actually want to talk about, though, after we go see these new mushrooms. This new brand of mushroom shoots a projectile, if I can make it do that. There it goes. So these ones aren't useless, unlike the first mushrooms. They even shoot at you while you're busy with their comrades, which is something that not a lot of enemies do. Until now. We're going to be seeing more and more of that. Anyway, this salamander enemy is... oh my god, I killed him. Well, it was my intention to show him off, but we'll see that enemy type a couple more times at least. Here's a new boss. It's a rhinoceros. He charges at us like the cockatrice does. Now, for some reason, unlike literally every other enemy in the game, our fireball doesn't seem to hurt the rhinoceros at all. But we just block his 2 attacks and then punch him. So it's not like that's a big deal. And if you're wondering why we managed to kill the enemy that was guarding the gate in here in one hit, that's because this game does have critical hits, because it does have some RPG elements like that. Up here is a small town which is devoid of any people. There's just no one here, and there's only one house with anything in it. It's this one, and it has a medallion with a sword on it. I have no idea what it does, but we still want it. You can see there are some ants scurrying outside that are clipping through the walls, so we should probably go and confront that. These ants aren't really any different from the ones we've already seen, except they appear to be bigger, but I'm not too sure. Either way, we can actually hit them with our punches if we want to. But I'm gonna stick with the low kick for the most part, just to be safe. I do appreciate that all of the enemies in this location are appropriately foresty. They really could have been lazy because they do mix and match some of the enemy types. But no, they made a lot of unique enemies for this location. Not the giant ants, though. If we come over this way, we can find a magical spring. Let's go ahead and step in it and see what happens. Our health gets refilled. And we get another medallion. Still don't know what that does. So I guess that spring is just a free health refill, right? It's not like this game is tough, so I question the need for it, but it's a neat bit of design well, not design gameplay-wise, but design environmentally. It's neat environmental design. This is some neat gameplay design, though. The plants right here are placed in such a way that it would be very difficult to move around them. And you have to time your attacks and blocks carefully so that way you don't end up getting hit by the enemies behind the one you're already focused on. Like I did a moment ago. Jumping back up here is an even more painful endeavor. It's not like you can do a full combo or block while you're in mid-jump, so... Down here's that wolf guy that I talked over earlier. Maybe this time we'll get to talk about him. He has a pretty fancy combo of his own where he punches you and then sweeps your leg. But you could just keep using your combo on him and he won't have time to move, similar to the, what was it, the sickle mouse. It appears that this particular wolf was guarding a fairy. I have no idea what the fairy is saying, but we need it for something very important. There's another medallion back here for us, but nothing else. I just figured it'd be nice to jump back here to show you that there is indeed something behind the tree. Now let's jump back up those steps and deal with the dreaded plant menace. After we take out 2 of the plants, it would be possible to jump past the rest. The difficulty is taking out 2 of the plants at all. You have to manage to get up on the ledge without getting knocked back down. We did it after only 2 tries, though. So there's no visible way forward, but we do have a fairy. And there's something to be said about how often fairies go into magical lakes. I apologize, it's a pond. I meant magical ponds. Let's just go with magical bodies of water in general. Taking the ferry here rewards us with the key, but more importantly, we also get a really cool aesthetic change. Some super pointy looking shoulder pads. This is the only visible difference to our armor we ever get, but I like it. Up here are some more logs that will fall on us, but we can backflip to get out of the way before they do so. Or we can just back up slowly, but the backflipping looks better. And that pathway down there is just full of mushrooms, so let's ignore that. These beetle enemies aren't too intimidating. They mostly bite us with their pincers, but they can fly and charge at us, unlike most other bug enemies. That's just as easily blocked, though. If you spam the low kick quickly enough, you can stun them with it like I do right here. Sometimes it pushes them too far back, but sometimes it works perfectly. Can't exactly tell you what determines which one happens when. This time we get to actually fight this guy. He's a lot like the lizards from the second stage, but instead of 2 attacks, he has 3. He can also end his attack with a tail swipe instead of a jab, but that's more unlikely. He mostly does that when you're further away from him, because I don't believe he has any projectile moves. Puli is very maneuverable and can duck under many of our attacks to get in close. When he does get in close, he also blocks a lot. So we're going to take the opportunity to use grabs against him. We're going to be using grabs against almost every character from here on out, because they just block way too much, and it's much more effective than waiting for them to let their guard down.